Welcome to Gay Fairfax, the Washington, D.C. area's only weekly gay video magazine sharing news, views, and pride. I'm Dave Hughes.
And I'm Michelle Michaels. Each week we'll feature events and personalities of interest to gay men and women in Northern Virginia.
On this edition, we'll learn of the goals and successes of the Arlington Gay and Lesbian Citizens Association from its president, James Fisher.
And we'll share some gay bits and bites when we link up with a local computer network. But first, here's Peg McCraw with our gay trivia question.
Most celebrities suspected of being gay would go to great lengths to publicly deny the rumors, but refreshingly, a few have candidly admitted it. Can you name 6 famous people who have acknowledged having had at least one homosexual experiences in their lives? Don't go away. I'll be back with the answer.
Thank you, Peg. Meeting other gay men and women through bars or through classified ads is old-fashioned. Today's high-tech gays can log on to computer bulletin boards which offer online chats, news, information, even cooking and travel tips. The Gay and Lesbian Information Bureau, or GLIB, is one of the largest gay networks in the country, and it's based in Arlington. GLIB's system operator showed the members of the Fairfax Lesbian and Gay Citizens Association how to network the high-tech way.
I'm John Larimore, and I'm what's called a SysOp. SysOp stands for System Operator. It's jargon that's kind of developed over the years with the kind of online information and communication service that a bulletin board is. Bulletin boards are called generically BBSs, and BS is what a lot of people do on them. There's 2 fundamental services that online communication services offer. One of them is basic communications. You can talk to each other, and you can do it in real time with other people, just like one great big party line through a keyboard. Or you can leave electronic mail for each other, very much like many of you do in your offices. It works very much like a local area network, except it isn't local. GLIB is international. You can leave messages for people in Canada, California, actually just 2 countries, the United States and Canada so far, but it's expanding. This is a IBM clone, a very common ordinary computer. It happens to be equipped for color. And this is a Sony monitor. There are many different kinds of monitors. This gadget's called a modem. This is the thing that translates computerese into telephonese and back again. And this is the gadget in one form or another that everybody who uses a communication service needs. Often they're built in. You don't even see the thing. It's inside the computer someplace. I like to have an external one because I like to watch the little red lights. If you're a techie like I am, you'd never think of having a modem inside your computer. GLIB is a service for and about the gay community. The letters GLIB stand for the Gay and Lesbian Information Bureau. It's operated by a non-profit, tax-deductible 501c3 community service. And we're all volunteers. There are no paid employees. There are no salaries paid. GLIB operates from my home. We have, as you'll see, I'll show you a list eventually of people we call SIGOPs. SIGOP is a guy who operates, or a woman who operates, a special interest group, SIGOP. And without them, GLIB and any other large service like ours couldn't exist. It's very much a cooperative venture. There are special interest areas for a great number of different kinds of people and different kinds of interests. We have a special section for women, and within that women's section there are subdivisions of subject areas, message bases. There are support services for gay alcoholics, gay substance abusers, people who are either married now or are just out of a marriage or are trying to deal with kids from a marriage. We have a cooking section. We have a section called Talking About AIDS. We have one called Ask the Doc, in which a gay doctor who calls in from Connecticut, I believe, answers questions, medical questions, of anybody who cares to ask. They're always anonymous. With many bulletin boards, the first time you sign on, you fill out an online application form and you're in. We don't do that. Getting into GLIB is a little more complicated, purposely. We are extremely sensitive to and protective of the personal identity and privacy of our members. For that reason, we require a written application form with a signature on it of every member. We also require a piece of personal identification with that application form. We need a photocopy of a driver's license, a birth certificate, visa, anything legal. At the present time, we have slightly over 1,000 members. Basic membership in GLIB is free for life. All you have to do is send in an application form if you can prove that you're a supportive member of the gay community. If you have ever written a check to any gay organization and can prove it, if you have a membership card in any gay organization anywhere in the world and can prove it, if you can send me anything that shows that you have supported a gay group sometime, somewhere, you're a member of GLIB, and if you're over 18. This is the main menu. GLIB is a very dynamic system. It changes all the time. Probably the thing that people use most and first is the message bases. When we created GLIB, we thought it would be an information service. We thought this is where organizations like yours will post their newsletter and the schedule of meetings and events coming up. And that was what GLIB was supposed to be. We found we were a little ahead of our time because there weren't enough people out there who were the leaders of gay organizations who had computers or knew what they were or knew what the potential of them were. And so it's only now that we're beginning to get special sections for groups in which we can post that kind of information. We will create a section on GLIB for any gay organization who wants it, providing they maintain it, they upload files regularly, they keep it alive. And so it's free publicity for any group who wants to use the service. Public message bases are fun. This is the first menu you get to when you say you want to talk to somebody. Now up at the top it says conferences, real-time multi-user chat sessions. As many people who are online can be talking to each other at the same time if they want to, or they can go off into separate private conversations, or they can break up into separate public conversations and invite others into it if they want to. There are 2 conferences online. Actually, there are 3. Many of the things you do on GLIB, you'll see an information screen that explains how to use it. GLIB is menu-oriented, and if you don't know how to do something, generally it'll tell you how. It's pretty simple. That was a screen telling you what conferences are and how to use them. There are, on this screen right here, 3 conferences called Party Line, Explicit, and Women Chat. Party Line is a general multi-user chat session, and that's where most people are most of the time. That's just what it says. It's a party line. People get on there and talk about everything and anything. Explicit is spelled X-P-L-I-C-I-T, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's pretty basic. Women Chat is only available to women. Although men can see it on the menu, if they choose it, they get an error message saying, sorry, this isn't available to you. The entire LOL, Lesbians Online section, is the very same way. Men can't access it. It is restricted. Let's go back to the main menu. If you ever get lost, you just press an asterisk and it takes you back to the main menu from anywhere. You never have to worry about getting lost. You press, remember that keystroke, and you'll always get back to the beginning. This is called Power Plaza, and this is something we just set up, a few months ago. These are gay merchants. These are people in the area who have something to sell you. And they're everything from Sharkey Schaefer's own personal Entertainment 91 book. It's a discount book. A lot of people sell them. But that's hers, and she markets it here online. We have Fast Fred's travel data. Fast Fred is a travel agent in New York. He communicates via Gaycom, and he happens to be the brother of the CISOP of the bulletin board in New York that is the center of our gay network. Napolilink, of course, which I told you about earlier. R.W. Brooks Company is a computer and office supplies company. Robert Brooks is a GLIB member, and he signs on every now and then, and he takes orders online for computer ribbons or paper or printers or whatever you have in mind. The Singing Baker is right here, and he really does deliver cakes with a song. He'll come and give you an aria or a popular tune. Hot Dude just said hi. He doesn't know who he's saying hi to, but that's what that beep was. He saw somebody online and he decided he'd say hi. Online magazine, let's take from the top. Online magazine is pretty self-explanatory. It's information. We have a personal section. We have want ads. We have Dear GLIB. We have travel and leisure. That's a travel section. We have gay erotic review. We have music, dance, and classical section. We have a section called erotic briefs. There's one called the GLIB kitchen. This is interesting. This is the newsroom, and here is USA Today. All GLIB members have access to the electronic version of USA Today every morning. It comes in about 7:30, and you can read USA Today online, or you can capture it, you can download it, and read it later on your own computer or print it out to suit yourself. We have a lot of people who call in from the office. Used to be... Oh, and by the way, let me show you this. If you're calling from the office, okay, you're calling from the office, okay, watch this. You're calling from the office and somebody walks up and looks over your shoulder, right? So all you do is type this. You type a pound sign and the letter E for emergency, and you immediately get a spreadsheet. I don't know whether all of you or any of you have seen our public terminal at Lambda Rising, but we have a computer standing in Lambda Rising, back in the dirty book section, which is owned and operated by GLIB. It has an automated screen that looks like a video game while it's in standby, and it invites you to press any key, and when you press a key, it asks you if you're a member, and if you are, then you sign on and you use it like your own computer. If you're a visitor, then it sends you to the visitor's reception room. But we're going to put in more of them as we can afford it. The next one will be put in the upstairs bar at the Lost and Found. And the terminal that we'll use at Gay Pride Day will be the one we put in there. We have a new member who just joined a couple of weeks ago while I'm on the subject, who has a serious disability. I can't remember what the disease is. I talked to him on the phone and I could barely understand him. But he was having trouble signing on. Myasthenia gravis? I don't recall what it is. But anyway, he's totally disabled, and he's a gay man. And he left me some of the most beautiful messages after he had used GLIB for about a week and met other people online and talked to them in real time and gotten to know people. He said he never, ever knew there was anything like this, and it was just the greatest thing he'd ever discovered. Because here he was homebound, you know, and unable to get out. This lets you get out. And meet other people and talk to them online. Thank you for letting me show this off. If you'd like to come up and play with it yourself here, you're more than welcome to. I'll leave it up and running, and you can push the keys yourself. Thank you.
In 1990, the Arlington Council requested permission from the Virginia General Assembly to include gays in the Human Rights Code. Although the measure died in committee, the request set a precedent in Virginia. The organization behind this historic political move was the Arlington Gay and Lesbian Alliance. Marty Ackerman learned about its other successes and goals from the president of the group, James Fisher.
Welcoming James Fisher from the Arlington Gay and Lesbian Alliance. Welcome, James. Can you tell me a little bit about the Alliance, like when it was formed, for instance?
Sure. We were formed about 10 years ago. This fall will be our 10-year anniversary. The group is primarily Arlington residents, gays and lesbians, although you don't have to be an Arlington resident. The agenda of the group is really twofold. It's part social and it's part political. And I think our goals sort of both come under each of those mantles. There are about probably 125 members right now, and we're growing.
Great. You're the new president, right, since December, is that correct?
Yes.
What kind of changes did you want to make in the group as far as expanding, reaching more people?
I think one of the things that's very important to us is to look at the Arlington community at large, and if you assume 150,000 people live in Arlington County, and 10% of that, which is a given estimate for gays and lesbians in the population at large, that's 15,000 people, and a lot of those people are closeted, or they don't have a sense of community, and so a good bit of what we're trying to do this year and in the past is to create a sense of community. In the district, you have a visible location, Adams Morgan and DuPont Circle area, where there is a high concentration of gays and lesbians. In Arlington, we're much more diverse, and we're not as visible to others and to ourselves. So one of our primary goals is to serve as a focus for the gay and lesbian community in Arlington.
So you socially bring these people out, get them involved in different things, is that correct?
Right. We do, as I mentioned earlier, we have essentially a two-pronged agenda. Socially, we feel it's very important to create, what I was saying earlier, a sense of community by having social events. We can meet one another. We can get a sense of shared experiences of living in Arlington. I mean, it's a great place to live, and we get a sense of being gay and lesbian in Arlington, and who our neighbors are and that sort of thing. And so that's very important to create a sense of community. Politically, we want to make Arlington and Northern Virginia and Virginia a better place to live. Not only for us as gays and lesbians, we want to have equal protection under the law, not preferential treatment, but equal protection. And we want to live in a thriving, vibrant community, which means that it's up to us as citizens to participate in community service projects, support our community in any number of ways. And so for those reasons, we also are very politically active.
I see. Now, if I wanted to get involved in, say, some of the social activities that you sponsor or provide, what kind of choices would I have?
We try to come up with a variety of really interesting activities, so it's not just, you know, a party or the same old thing. We try to be creative in what we do. We throw an annual Christmas party. Earlier this spring, we had a really very successful fundraiser for the Arlington Arts Center. The Arts Center was sponsoring an exhibit of 6 artists, all dealing with what they called issues of gender. And so the Arts Center allowed us to come in and hold a reception. It was a fundraiser for the Arts Center after hours, so it was just our group, and it was a time in which we all could, you know, socialize, look at the exhibits, and hear from somebody at the Arts Center discussing the art, and it was a very, very popular event. We're also doing, later in the spring, we did a tea, planning for something at the Ritz-Carlton. We decided to do a get-together that would be, you know, sort of an interesting place to get together at an interesting sort of event. Throughout the summer, we'll probably do an ice cream social and a variety of different things, so it's not just...
So you're appealing to everybody.
Right, right.
Yeah. You said that you do meet with the other gay and lesbian alliances throughout the other counties.
Right.
Same similar events, or...?
We have just begun to meet on what we hope will be a regular basis, the leaders of our group and of the Alexandria group and the Fairfax group and the Prince William group, to get a sense of what things that we can do together. Each year we've all gotten together for a Northern Virginia picnic, and that is again planned for this year. But politically there are a number of things which we feel that we can, you know, join forces on politically to try to be more effective as a group.
For instance?
One issue that we're concerned about, and we have not really developed this, it's only been discussed in very general terms, is sensitivity of police to gay and lesbian issues in Northern Virginia. Working on ways in which we might work with the Police Training Academy to increase sensitivity. That's one. Certainly lobbying on the State General Assembly on political issues, but we're just really getting off the ground with that, and it's something that I think can bear a lot of fruit for us.
Speaking of police and things like that, you mentioned earlier off camera about hate crimes. that you were somehow involved with getting more awareness, perhaps stopping some of these crimes. Tell me a little bit more about that.
It's a very important issue to us. It's a very important issue across the country.
Yes.
Earlier this year, the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force announced their own statistics on showing a dramatic increase in reports of hate crimes. Local groups also announced statistics. For our membership, we did a poll of every single AGLA member to find out in the calendar year 1990 their experience with hate crimes, and the numbers had doubled from 1989. We had a dozen instances of various kinds of either physical abuse or harassment or various things in '89, and we had about 24 in 1990. Now, all of those did not occur in Arlington County. They occurred in the metropolitan Washington area, some of them in Arlington and some of them nearby, but they occurred to Arlington residents. And so that's something that we feel very important about keeping an eye on and working with our police, our own county police, to sensitize them. And we're going to develop a more detailed agenda on hate crimes as the year goes on.
And hopefully have stiffer penalties for people convicted of these crimes, or you're at least talking to people about that?
Yes, one of the things that we're very interested in is finding out the District of Columbia has a hate crimes law in which people who are convicted of a crime against someone that is in some way based on prejudice because they're gay or lesbian have increased penalties because of that, because it's a hate-related incident. We would like Arlington County to pass such a measure, and we are looking right now to try to find out ways in which we can make that possible. Again, we're in the very early stages of that, but that's something that we feel is very important.
Along those same lines, you mentioned to me that you are also involved in a hotline for gay and lesbians to call up maybe when they're coming out, or if they have a crime to report, or something like that?
Now, this is a project that I'm personally involved in, but it goes along with what we're trying to do with the Arlington Gay and Lesbian Alliance. I mentioned earlier that we're trying to, you know, create a sense of community in Arlington, and a large number of people in Arlington are closeted. They're unwilling or unable because of job or other pressures to come out and go to events or whatever. And so programs like this program are very, very important, as is the Gay and Lesbian Hotline. And so through AGLA, I'm trying to to create a greater awareness of this hotline, so that people who are watching this program know that there is another outlet along with being connected through the gay and lesbian community through their television set in the privacy of their own home. They can speak to someone directly at the Gay and Lesbian Hotline, and I think that's something that I want AGLA to be more involved in doing. And if I can, I'll give the number if people are interested. It is the hotline is sponsored by Whitman Walker Clinic. It operates from 7 to 11 p.m. Every day of the week, and the number is 202-833-3234.
And if I wanted to get involved in this, how would I go about that?
The Arlington Gay and Lesbian Alliance it's relatively easy to join. It's $25 a year for a single membership, or $40 a year for families or a couple membership. Do
you have a lot of families and couples?
We have quite a number of couples, some of them with children.
Great.
We have, in order to become a member, you just need to contact us. We're in the phone book, or we're listed always in the Blade. And people can contact us that way. We also meet once a month on the third Thursday of each month at 7:30 at a public recreation center in Northern Virginia. And if anyone would like to get in touch with us, they can call our phone number.
Now, you gave me a phone number. I'm not sure it's correct. You told me 703-522-7660. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's the number that I have down.
And they can call that number and find out the location of our meeting. We prefer not to give it over there.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been most informative.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the success in everything that you do.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, how did you do with this week's gay trivia question? Here's Peg with the answer.
The 6 honest celebrities are Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister; Joan Baez, folk singer; Marlon Brando, actor; Janis Joplin, rock singer; Richard Burton, actor; Billie Jean King, tennis pro.
That wraps up this edition of Gay Fairfax. Don't forget, you can tune into our show every week at this time. For Gay Fairfax, I'm Dave Hughes.
And I'm Michelle Michaels. Thank you for joining us. And remember to keep the pride alive.